Welcome back to the Life Beautiful People. It's your girl Kaylon. What was I gonna say, boy? Anyways, in today's episode training, we are talking about why women struggle to build wealth like men and why that's not the goal, right? I don't know about you, but if you grew up in a survival state, first of all, let's define what the feminine and masculine is, because for some reason in spirituality, people think the feminine is the biological, like feminine and masculine. And the feminine and masculine just means feminine just means the unseen, the subconscious mind, and masculine means the logical brain, the seen, when we're awake. That's what masculine mind means. And your subconscious mind can be programmed in a deep state of relaxation. That's when you truly see change. And in the previous video, I talked about in order for you to manifest, you have to be in a state of relaxation. There's no going around it, right? And me being a woman and a female who has been in the masculine, you're going to hear me say these two terms. So remember what it actually means. A lot of things that are in mainstream media, relatively the Bible or religion, there are deeper meanings under it, right? Hold on. Let's define what we're actually looking at. The dominant wealth model is work more, sleep less, detach emotionally, push through stress, outperform everyone, suppress everything. It rewards consistency over cycles, output over intuition, competition over collaboration, so endurance over recovery. That system is built on sustained sympathetic activation. Mild flight or flight every day. Some nervous systems tolerate that better. Some are conditioned to survive that way, but many women, especially mothers, pay a higher cost. Why? That's the main question. Because women are hormonally cyclical, emotionally relational. What's happening with my words today, y'all? Can y'all, what's going on? Emotionally relational, often carrying invisible labor. All right, Papa, all right. Often carrying mental load. When you layer hustle culture on top of motherhood, you are stacking stress on a system that is already activated, and then you wonder why you crash. Let's talk nervous system, guys, okay? When you are chronically stressed, your amygdala stays alert, your body produces cortisol, your digestion shifts, your sleep quality drops, your patience decreases. Now add interrupted sleep from children, constant responsibility, emotional regulation for others that is not neutral. Many women are trying to build businesses while in a low-grade survival mode. And survival mode is not creative. I repeat, it is not creative. And where do you create? In the subconscious, in your feminine state. That's why you procrastinate. You undercharge if you own a business. You avoid visibility. You're afraid to be seen. You overwork yourself because you feel as if you can't have a moment of rest. Then collapse. It is not laziness. It is dysregulation, y'all. And I did a video last week about dysregulation and how to regulate your system. There's another layer. Many women were conditioned to be the strong one, the responsible one, the helper, the emotional manager. So when building wealth, they default to over-functioning, doing everything alone, never asking for help, over-delivering, underpricing, proving value constantly. Hyper-independence is often a trauma adaptation, y'all. It looks powerful, but it feels exhausting, right? If your nervous system learned, if I don't handle everything, everything falls apart. And I know I'm not the only one who's felt that way, right? Then building wealth becomes another arena where you must carry it all. As if, like, I have to carry everything on my back forever. And that is not a sustainable expansion of self. That is self-abandonment with a business plan, right? You are literally, creating a space where you will fail, you know? Yeah. Here's the shift. There are two ways to build wealth, right? From survival or from safety. Uh-oh. 1 second, y'all. So there's only two spaces you can build from: survival or safety. Wealth from survival says, I must hustle or I will lose everything. I must say yes or I will be rejected. I must prove or I'll be invisible. Wealth from safety says, I can pause, I can choose aligned opportunities. I can raise my standards, I can say no without catastrophe, without feeling as if the world is going to end and no one is going to want to ask me anything again. They're going to think I'm this awful person. This overthinking and ruminating. Nobody cares about you more than they care about themselves. You say no, and if that person does, that means they have a lot of growth to do, and your no is guiding them to that growth. We have to be the no's in people's lives, and this is why it's so crucial as a woman to stand on your boundaries, because you will be someone's karma someday. And you will go into their lives and they need to be mothered. And that no will push them to the growth, right? They're going to think in their head, they've been getting yes, yes, yes and being walking over people. Yeah. And then they reach you and then it's a no because you crossed my boundaries. No, because you don't understand how to treat people. No, because when I come to you, you don't, with my happy news, you are always trying to misguide me and turn me somewhere else. Do you get me? Right. Let's move. So, safety expands capacity. When your nervous system is regulated, you make clearer decisions. You tolerate visibility. You negotiate without panic. You think long term. Regulation increases financial intelligence. Right? So if you were never taught how to manage your finances, it's because you were in a constant state of go, go, go. You weren't in a state of feeling safe. Money does not expand in a space that it doesn't feel safe and regulated. You understand? That's why niggas in the hood, they'll get all that money and they will never feel the benefits of it, because they don't understand. Or women in the hood, they feel like they have to continuously be pouring out and giving out sex or giving out their mental state. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not because it makes you softer, because it makes you stable. Women are cyclical. Energy is not linear, which means energy doesn't just go in one way. Energy goes up, sideways, downwards, this way, to the east, to the north, to the southwest, to the southeast, to the northwest, to the northeast. Energy expands everywhere for women. Our energy is cyclical. But one thing you should know is that the energy will come back to that phase eventually. But we move in phases, right? Some weeks you are a visionary, some weeks you're reflective, some weeks you are high output, and some days you need to restore. You need restoration. You need to give yourself all the energy that you have just given out, right? The masculine model punishes fluctuation. And I kid you not, I cannot be the only one as a woman. I went to an all-girls Catholic school, y'all. And the way they teach is so masculine in the way of you must show up regardless. You must outshine your brethren's other all-boys schools, co-ed schools, and you must also flourish here with all these females who have different cycles. Unless when you're in your house and you and your mom or you and your sister, your cycles start to sync. Can you imagine that with a flock of like 500 students who are just females? Yeah, yeah, yeah. No testosterone whatsoever, right? And it speaks to the point of you might be seeing your period and it feels a shame. There's a shame in feeling in rest mode. There's a shame in like, I can't show up my full time today. Like school starts at 8, I finish at 5 o'clock because I do track. You know what I'm saying? And some days I just don't feel like pushing out. And having a male coach who doesn't really understand that, oh, females, we need to rest at certain periods of time. But at the end of the seasons of like high school, I had a coach that understood. He used his discretion to realize that, okay, if you come to me and you tell me that you're not feeling 100 or you're feeling weaker, because when you're seeing your period, you're losing so much blood, your muscles are being deoxygenated. And he understood that. And respect goes out to him. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, back to what we're saying. But what if fluctuation is strategic? What if your creative phase is for launching? Your reflective phase is for planning. Your low energy phase is for back-end systems. Your high energy phase is for visibility. Instead of forcing sameness, you work with rhythm. That is not laziness. And I've been taking this on. I've been learning myself how to move in the seasons that are for me. And this is why they say comparison is a thief of joy. Because I kid you not, you cannot compare yourself to somebody else. For example, one is a man and two, you're on different cycles. You know what I'm saying? This is intelligent pacing. You can't outsmart Mother Nature, y'all. It's been this for centuries. Women have been doing their thing and been innovating. So please, let's focus on just the higher. All right, so I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to speak on some somatic practices, both on here and on the live. Before you make financial decisions this week, pause and inhale through your nose. We did this last week. So come again with me. So you're going to take a second. I felt good. Right. You're going to ask yourself, am I choosing from pressure or am I choosing from clarity? And if your chest is tight, your jaws are clenched, and your breath is shallow, that is survival. Do not build from there. Regulate first. Strategize second. Okay? You do not need to become harder to become wealthy, y'all. You don't need to detach from your softness. You need to stabilize your nervous system. This month is about regulated women building wealth, and not through force, not through burnout, not through becoming someone else, but through capacity. Next week, we're talking about the regulated woman who negotiates, regulates her standards, and expands without apology. I wanted to call it Matriarch May, but whatever. As you know, there's a free PDF down below. It gives all the objectives that were in this video and how you can work through it on your own. All right, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.